Okay, and here we are in our last section for 1-6, standard form inequalities. Now we're going to be graphing inequalities from standard form, and we do this by always getting the y by itself. So I want you to write that note. Get y by itself, just like we did in our very last lesson, but now we're doing it with inequalities. Okay, for example 1, we notice that our y is here on the left side, so we have to start by getting rid of that 2x. So I subtract 2x from both sides, my 0 pair goes away, and I have 3y is greater than or equal to 6 minus 2x. Now we know from here we can divide both sides by 3, or the best way I would say it to you is to divide each term individually by 3 on the right hand side, and this would give us y is greater than or equal to 6 divided by 3 would be 2 minus 2 over 3x. Perfect. And I tell you what, let's actually do this. I'll draw one graph, and no, actually, I don't like what I was about to do there. Okay. So we simply draw our graph right here. We know that we go up 1, 2, and of course this negative 2 sends us down 1, 2 to the right, 1, 2, 3. There's my point. And I'm just going to do a very quick, easy graph. Remember, straight line, because we have that equality symbol there. And of course, if it's y is greater than, we're going to be shading above. In fact, that's how easy it should be for you to graph at this point. All right, let's talk about example 2. Well, I notice that my y is here on the left side again. So we'll start by getting rid of our x plus 3x on both sides. And now we have negative 5y is less than, and here I'm going to actually write the x term first, 3x plus 12. Now, notice we actually have a problem. Do y'all see this negative right here? I want to write it like this. I want to say that this is a special case. Anytime you have a negative y and you're going to have to divide by that negative symbol, something very incredible is going to happen, and that is that our inequality is going to have to flip. Okay? Our inequality is going to have to flip. So what are we saying here? I divide by negative 5 on every single individual term, but when I cancel that and I go to write this, I'll write y, but instead of writing less than, I have to flip it, and so I write y is greater than, and then in this case it would be negative 3 over 5x minus 12 divided by 5 is going to be something like negative 2.4. So if I wanted to graph this, hey, it's going to look something a little bit like this. Negative 2.4, I'm just going to do a rough draft graph, it's kind of right there. We have a negative slope, and of course there'll be a dotted line because it's an inequality. And see how it says y is greater than? We wind up shading above. But the key thing that I really want you to see here is that whenever we have a negative y value, we will always have to flip the sign. Alright, pause that, finish writing notes. Let's move on to our last example for the lesson. Okay, here we have our third example, and let's take a look at this. We have 5x minus 10y is greater than 30. And the question should become, like right off the bat when you look at this, will I have to flip my inequality? And see how we have a negative y value? Yes. So let's write that, and I want you to write this because it's so important. Negative y value, we will flip our inequality. Write that down, write that down. So here I subtract my 5x from both sides, minus 5x. We have negative 10y is greater than negative 5x plus 30. And now once I divide everything by negative 10, because I am dividing by a negative, I know that my symbol must flip. A negative divided by a negative is a positive, and 5 and 10 can both be divided by 5, becoming 1/2 x. And a positive divided by negative is a negative 3, because 30 divided by 10 is 3. And here we are. There's our inequality. I guess we can practice graphing it one more time. We see our y-intercept is -3. We see our slope is up 1 to the right 2 and up 1 and to the right 2. And lastly, should this be a solid or dotted line, and should we shade above or below? Well, we use a dotted line and we wind up shading below. Alright, I hope this helps, and I'll see you guys in our very next lesson.